Welcome to your latest weather forecast for the United States on this Thursday, July 24, 2025. If you're new here or enjoy staying ahead of major weather events, be sure to hit that subscribe button and stay with us through the full forecast to catch every detail across the country. A tropical disturbance brewing in the northern Gulf of Mexico is drenching southeast Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and the Florida Panhandle with widespread heavy showers and occasional thunderstorms. Slow-moving downpours are creating flooding threats in low-lying areas and city streets. This deep tropical moisture isn't going anywhere fast, so storm chances remain elevated for days to come. Across the Central Plains, including eastern Kansas, Missouri, and Iowa, a stalled boundary is colliding with warm air and triggering strong afternoon and evening thunderstorms. Expect localized cloudbursts with rapid rainfall accumulation, strong gusts, and scattered flash flooding as storm clusters meander over the same areas. Farther north in the upper Midwest, including parts of Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan, more scattered thunderstorms are developing. While coverage is not as widespread, brief but intense downpours are soaking small pockets of land, especially near the shores of the Great Lakes. Heading into the Ohio Valley and the interior mid-Atlantic, as well as some spots in the Northeast, rain chances are more limited. Isolated showers may develop near the mountains and foothills, but much of the region stays dry under persistent summer heat and lingering high pressure. Out west, the monsoon flow brings a few isolated mountain storms to parts of northern New Mexico and Arizona. However, these showers remain weak and sporadic with little impact on surrounding areas. Most of the broader southwest remains hot and dry. Meanwhile, the Pacific Northwest and California continue their summer dry streak. Cloud cover and cool breezes hug coastal cities like Seattle and San Francisco, but meaningful rainfall is completely absent from forecasts. Alaska features occasional drizzle across the southeastern panhandle, while most of the interior remains under dry and stable conditions. Over in Hawaii, trade winds push typical morning showers over windward slopes with drier afternoons, keeping the islands locked in their familiar warm and moist pattern. Zooming out for a broader picture, the flood risk is highest today across parts of the Central Plains and into the Midwest, especially over the Corn Belt and surrounding areas. Through the weekend, a long corridor of moisture is expected to linger over this region, bringing multiple rounds of moderate to heavy rainfall that could total several inches by Saturday or Sunday. A powerful heat dome takes firm hold across much of the central and eastern United States today, fueling widespread and intense warmth that will be felt from the southern plains all the way to the northeast. Across the Central Plains, temperatures climb dramatically with cities like Oklahoma City, Wichita, Little Rock, and the Dallas-Fort Worth area soaring into the upper 90s and low 100s. Humidity remains extremely high, allowing the air to retain heat well into the night and making it feel even more oppressive. Overnight lows will fail to dip below the upper 70s for many, denying any real relief. Throughout the Corn Belt, including Kansas City, St. Louis, Chicago, Minneapolis, and Des Moines, heat builds rapidly under abundant sunshine. Temperatures in the upper 90s will be widespread, but combined with the intense humidity and localized evapotranspiration from crops, it will feel more like 105 to 115 degrees in the afternoon and early evening. Heat stress remains a concern with barely any break after sunset. Over the Ohio Valley and Mid-Atlantic, including cities such as Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Columbus, Charlotte, and Washington, D.C., high temperatures in the low to mid-90s dominate. However, the high dew points make the environment feel more stifling than the thermometer suggests. Heat indices here also approach or exceed 105 degrees in some spots, and nighttime lows holding in the mid to upper 70s increase the risk of overnight heat stress. Farther south in the Deep South, the relentless heat continues in full force. Cities such as New Orleans, Jackson, Atlanta, Tampa, and Miami experience highs in the upper 90s to low 100s, with humidity pushing the feels like temperatures into the 105 to 110 degree range. Nights remain extremely warm and humid, with limited temperature recovery by morning. The Northeast is also caught in the heat dome's reach, with New York City, Boston, Philadelphia, and Portland, Maine, all seeing highs in the 90s. While actual temperatures may stay in the low to mid-90s, the muggy air mass makes it feel notably hotter, closer to 100 to 105 degrees for many, especially in urban areas where heat lingers between buildings. In the Southwest, places like Phoenix, Tucson, and Las Vegas remain stuck in an extreme heat pattern of their own. Triple-digit highs between 105 and 115 degrees are common once again today, and some isolated spots may push past 110 degrees, especially in lower elevation deserts with no chance for cooling breezes or rain. Overnight lows will again stay dangerously warm, especially in dense city environments. On the West Coast, the marine layer offers some moderation. Coastal cities like Los Angeles, San Francisco, Portland, and Seattle will be much cooler by comparison. Morning temperatures in the 60s and 70s give way to highs in the 70s and 80s closer to the water, while inland valleys such as those in California's Central Valley may edge into the low 90s under stronger sun. The Pacific Northwest remains on the mild side, especially near Puget Sound and coastal Oregon. In Alaska, pleasant and seasonal weather persists, with afternoon highs generally in the 60s to low 70s depending on elevation and cloud cover. Hawaii sees daytime highs in the lower 80s with a boost in humidity along windward coasts, though consistent trade winds offer comfort and some cooling in the shade. A powerful stretch of summer weather grips the U.S. over the next 7 days, beginning Thursday, July 24th, with a combination of extreme heat, suffocating humidity, and scattered thunderstorms across multiple regions. The eastern U.S. and the Gulf Coast are immediately under the influence of persistent tropical moisture, driving showers and thunderstorms that may drop significant rainfall in localized areas from Louisiana to Georgia and up through the Carolinas. The rain brings temporary cooling during the day, but the overnight lows remain warm and sticky, hovering around the upper 60s to low 70s. In the central U.S., scattered storms fire up from Kansas through Missouri into the lower Midwest, delivering brief but intense downpours. Meanwhile, the northern plains and upper Midwest see a transition toward hotter and drier conditions as a strengthening upper-level ridge pushes eastward. Friday sees continued rain chances along the southeast coastline and the deep south, with Florida and Alabama remaining active in the afternoons, though storms are more scattered. Temperatures trend warmer nationwide, especially across the interior west and central plains where highs begin to spike toward the mid-90s. Saturday marks the official return of the heat dome across the central U.S., stretching from Texas to the Dakotas and eastward toward the Ohio Valley. Under mostly sunny skies and rising humidity, daytime highs surge into the mid to upper 90s with some cities in Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Tennessee touching triple digits. Dry heat dominates the west, with intense sun and 100 degrees Fahrenheit highs from California's Central Valley to southern Nevada and Arizona. The northeast remains relatively quiet with hazy sunshine and temps in the low 90s. Sunday and Monday become the hottest stretch of the week as the heat dome peaks. Temperatures across the plains, southeast, and even parts of the mid-Atlantic soar above 100 degrees Fahrenheit, with heat index values approaching 110 degrees Fahrenheit in major urban zones like Dallas, Atlanta, and St. Louis. Nighttime offers little relief as lows stay in the upper 70s to near 80 degrees Fahrenheit in many cities, intensifying heat stress. The atmosphere remains largely capped, limiting widespread storm activity but allowing for isolated heat-driven convection in the Midwest and Central Appalachians. Some relief begins trickling in on Tuesday as the ridge starts to flatten slightly. Highs drop back slightly into the mid-90s across the Midwest and interior South, though the humidity stays high and oppressive. More cloud cover filters into parts of the Great Lakes, Missouri Valley, and Tennessee, increasing chances for late-day thunderstorms. By Wednesday, the return of deeper atmospheric moisture and weakening ridging allows for broader thunderstorm development. The plains, Midwest, and parts of the Southeast begin to see more widespread storms, especially late in the day into the evening. This moisture return, though not enough to break the heat entirely, begins cooling daytime highs to the low 90s and offers some nighttime relief as cloud cover thickens and the atmosphere becomes less stagnant. Across the West, a consistent pattern of dry, blazing conditions persists throughout the week. California's inland valleys roast under 100 to 105 degrees Fahrenheit highs with clear skies. The Pacific Northwest remains dry and seasonally warm, with highs in the 80s to low 90s and minimal cloud cover. Coastal California stays cooler under the influence of a persistent marine layer, while the Rockies remain hot and dry, especially across Utah and Colorado, where fire danger increases. In the Northeast, heat gradually builds through the week with highs reaching 95 degrees Fahrenheit by Monday and Tuesday in areas like Philadelphia and Washington, D.C., before humidity increases midweek and thunderstorm chances rise. The Southwest continues to bake, but monsoon-driven moisture may spark afternoon storms in Arizona and New Mexico by Tuesday or Wednesday. Hawaii remains seasonably humid with brief trade wind showers, and Alaska experiences a mix of cool temperatures and showers in the south while interior regions remain warm and mostly dry. Across the board, the pattern for July 24th to 30 tells a story of dominating heat, scattered relief through storms, and the continued grip of midsummer extremes that demand hydration, caution during outdoor activity, and close monitoring for flash flooding and heat-related illnesses. That's your complete national rain forecast for today, July 24th. If you found this helpful, make sure to like the video and subscribe to stay updated every day with precise, in-depth forecasts tailored to your region. Don't miss out on tomorrow's major weather changes. Stay tuned and we'll see you in the next update.